Birth confronts every baby animal with a strange new universe. Unfamiliar, disorienting. But nature provides a strategy to give order to this confusion. Within these infants, there is the strong impulse to bond through the mysterious and powerful process of imprinting. Few animals live together in as close harmony as do beavers. In their highly structured colonies, responsibility for bringing up the young is shared by both parents. Even when those parents are Jay and his sister Jess Carrick, adopted guardians of this beaver kit. With human parents, daily swimming lessons are still mandatory. But even when offered a free ride, after due consideration, the kit decides that he can make better time in rather than on the water. These merganser chicks are also an affectionate part of the Carrick's extended family. Hand-reared from the day they hatched, like the beaver kit, they are imprinted on humans and regard the Carrick children as mom and dad. Swimming over to share in the fun, the beaver kit soon leaves, perhaps out of sibling jealousy, to look for more personalized attention. As luxurious as this towel down may look, Jess is doing exactly what the kit's natural mother would do after a swim, by drying the fur and spreading a secreted oil that aids in insulation. There is nothing as constant as a mother's love, though not all mothers would approve of this for lunch. Eager to explore, this kit uses the Carricks as safe passage to meet more of the locals, and displays a little youthful bravado. But when it comes to a confrontation, the mergansers know there is strength in numbers. Discretion being the better part of valor, the beaver kit backs down and makes a tactical retreat to more familiar territory. As a beaver matures, it is taught many skills necessary for survival by its parents. How does a beaver reared by humans fare? While never having lived in a beaver house, when this beaver wants to leave, it attempts to burrow as it would in the wild. Presented with these branches, a powerful impulse takes charge. Without a second's hesitation, the branches are gathered, and with determination, if not grace, the young beaver heads off to start constructing a dam in front of the nearest available body of water, the bathroom tub. This beaver has had no adult from which to learn this complex behavior, yet the irresistible urge to build is ingrained, a timeless instinct. Any available material is commandeered. And then there's comfort to be considered. Work finished, his pond secure, the beaver settles in for a long soak and a snack. Few animals are as spirited and solitary as the red fox. Against the blanket of an early snow, this male inspects and marks the boundaries of his territory. Stealthy, shy, They are rarely seen by the casual visitor to the forest. Never would they approach a human. Well, rarely. As this affectionate reunion indicates, these two are old friends. Jess Carrick and this proud animal have had a long acquaintance. This fox was raised by her hand. Mature, healthy, the fox has been returned to the wild, well equipped to survive and flourish. Yet it retains a trust for this human that nurtured it, an affection that is shared. Birds, even predatory birds such as this young great horned owl, can become strongly imprinted on human foster parents. While active play aids in muscular development, every effort must be made to provide constant physical contact and a ready supply of food for bonding to be firmly entrenched. As the owl matures into its adult plumage, it commands more respect. Highly strung by nature, none of this animal's spirit has been dulled by close exposure to humans. It is as alert and healthy as it would be in the wild. But it is not too proud to turn to its keepers for a ready supply of food, or when the mood strikes, companionship. Mutual trust, as shown here, is not easily won. Bob Davison has devoted his life to understanding the behavior of the mountain lion and sharing his experiences through film. This female mountain lion is about to give birth. Knowing her time is near, she begins a thorough grooming to prepare for the arrival of the new litter of kittens. Contractions begin, and soon the helpless kitten is born, blind, wet, still covered with amniotic fluid. Immediately, the mother begins licking the kitten, cleaning, grooming, ensuring that the fur is dry and full to prevent heat loss. This behavior is equally important in the process of imprinting. Often in higher mammals, such as the mountain lion, the young are weak and vulnerable at birth and develop for the first few months in the seclusion of the den. This intimate first contact, the removal of the birth fluids by licking, deeply impresses the scent of the new kitten on the mother, sowing the seeds of a powerful relationship. As further kittens arrive, the process is repeated until each individual in the litter is known to the mother by its distinctive odor, and the family unit is complete. Mountain lion kittens, like all babies, can make their needs clearly known. Mother gently, with great care, cleans and cradles the newborn, further reinforcing their bond, before directing its attention to where it might find a meal. And this kitten is precocious enough to burp itself. With the warm summer months, the kittens make forays to the bright outside world. As they grow, they roughhouse and mock fight, testing muscles and their own independence. But when mother returns, they act like any child and race to her. Where they are licked and groomed in a ritual of recognition. Occasionally, young mountain lions, through accident or abandonment, are orphaned and raised by human hands. When these animals mature and breed, the trust they show their foster parents is truly remarkable. Bob and his family make an unannounced appearance at the den of a mountain lion he raised from birth, which now has offspring of its own. It's hard to imagine this kind of open-door policy existing between human families. But visits like this are so casual and frequent between the Davisons and this mountain lion and its kittens that it is often difficult to distinguish where one family begins and the other ends. With lives as intertwined as these, perhaps these distinctions become less and less relevant. Few people have a greater affinity for wildlife than nature photographer Dan Gibson. His sense of the rhythms of animal behavior is uncanny. This rapport has allowed him to capture some of the finest footage of animals ever committed to film. Suddenly, the tranquility of this spring afternoon is shattered. Urgent, threatening, Dan hears the sharp calls of Canada geese. Wolves, opportunists, have discovered this pair tied to their nest, goslings to protect. As the wolves circle, the parents are torn between an almost irresistible impulse to flee and the instinct to defend their offspring. Not wanting to interfere in the normal course of nature, however brutal, Dan can't ignore these desperate cries. Perhaps it's too late. But here are signs of life. Goslings newly hatched, down barely dry, seeking refuge in the tall weeds. No longer an innocent bystander, Dan must now locate their parents, if they can be found. He sets off in the direction he last heard the cries of the adults. The goslings close ranks, glad to have someone to follow. Like any pair of siblings, there is always one who will take the high road and, well, to reunite the family as quickly as possible, perhaps the best plan would be to give these little guys a lift. A bit of sleuthing finds the mother and father unharmed, just ruffled. Gently, not wanting to cause further stress, Dan releases the goslings to return to their parents, then attempts a quiet exit. Just as he is about to slip into the brush, the goslings react with anxious cries and race towards Dan. Friendly persuasion cannot induce them to reconsider, to accept and return to their natural parents. Disturbed by the wolves just after hatching, the goslings were in the critical stage when they bond to almost any moving object. After the confusion of the attack, that object was Dan. So it is to Dan, not the goose that hatched them, that these goslings are imprinted. They've adopted him, and he has no choice but to return the favor. How does a human being fulfill the role of a mother goose and complete the training of young goslings? The answer seems heaven-sent. Phil Soden, a radio-controlled plane enthusiast, offers his expertise. The freedom of movement offered by the airplane, coupled with Dan's understanding of the bird's stages of development, make their collaboration ideal. Immediately, they begin to plan practical methods to use planes in various stages of the bird's growth. Attaching a walkie-talkie to this model seaplane capitalizes on a fundamental aspect of the imprinting phenomenon. In addition to visual recognition, animals often respond strongly to the characteristic vocal pattern of the parent. Dan's voice, emanating from this strange device, is a siren call for the birds.
Come on, geese. Come on. Come on, geese. Come on. Come on. Come on, geese. Come on. Come on, geese. Come on. Come on. Come on.
Growth is rapid through the warm summer months. Committed to raising two, Dan decides to imprint himself on incubator-hatched goslings and film the development of the whole group for a feature motion picture. During this time, Dan is careful to work with the birds every day to reinforce the imprinting bond, ensuring he can guide them through the last stages of their training.
Come on, geese.
As muscles strengthen and primary feathers develop,
Come on, geese.
the voice response is still employed to coax the birds further afield, out into the open water.
Come on, geese. Come on. Come on. Come on, geese. Come on. Come on.
Soon, the power and speed of a motorboat is needed to set the proper pace. As Dan pulls away, the dynamic drive to follow their mother still stirs the geese, now fully feathered, off the dock and into the wake of the disappearing boat. Time is now right for a true test. The plane will function as the squadron leader. As it begins its ascent, the geese follow effortlessly, wheeling in the air currents. The bird's newfound confidence is inspiring. For Dan, this moment is gratifying, if tinged with sadness. The once reluctant foster parent realizes that soon his involvement in the lives of these geese will come to a natural end. With the independence that physical maturity offers, the influence of the imprinting will diminish and the geese will soon leave, fully fledged. A relationship of this intimacy deserves a suitable record. So Dan and Phil put the finishing touches on an elaborate airborne camera system. A slow-motion camera is built into the plane, complete with a video transmitter, so the pictures can be controlled from the boat. Hundreds of hours and thousands of dollars have been invested in the design of this machine. Sophisticated, ingenious, the technical wizardry of this craft is a matter of great indifference to the geese. Their only interest is in when mother can come out to play. They don't have long to wait. Flying rock steady, the plane eases in on the group. And we are privileged with a sight of compelling beauty. Mature, independent, soon to strike off on their own, they fly with Dan in the boat below, completing an arm of their formation. Perhaps their last flight together as a family. Chores on the dock may be less crowded now, but they're definitely more lonely. An unmistakable sound cuts across the water. Canada geese congregating for the migration south. Dan's geese have been gone for a while now, but he makes the familiar call. Flying in low over the water, they seem curious, then land to investigate. Initially tentative, they come closer. Demonstrations of affection like this leave little doubt. Cracked corn is as irresistible as ever. Finally, conclusive proof. From numbered bands he put on their legs, Dan confirms these are his geese. After returning to the wild to live with others of their species, there remains deeply seated in these geese recognition and trust for this man. Evidence of the power and durability of one of nature's wonders, imprinted.